Welcome to ATP Customs. Well, it took me a couple days longer than I said, but I told you I'd unwrap the Jimmy and bring it in and do a stereo feature on it. So let's have a look in the Jimmy and see what we got. You're gonna get kind of two reviews out of this, because we'll do the stereo and then we'll talk about all the lighting on it. So I started with an Alpine CD172BT Bluetooth, which I got off Amazon for, I'm going to say, around the $300 mark. They were going for $400 everywhere in town, so I went with Amazon for $100 less. And so far, it's been good. I've been running it for 2 years with no issues. And we are running Clarion 6.5-inch marine subs. I believe these are a CM, I can't even remember the model number on them, but they're a Clarion marine sub. I have 4 6.5s running off the deck, one in each door, and behind the seats. And you get a cool little, I did upgrade with the module, so you get a cool little controller so you can change all the different lighting to different styles, strobe, and all sorts of crap like that. Go around the other side. So I got an amp over there. So my big amp I'm running in this thing is a Kenwood amp that I had laying around for a lot of years. My brother picked it up in the US for me at Best Buy. It is a Kenwood 1800 watt amp, 500 RMS. I believe this goes down to 1 ohm. I can't quite remember. But this thing is awesome. And of course you can't buy these. It's a KAC 9103D. I love this amp. I've been waiting for years. I got it for $300, I think it was, from Best Buy. But I've been waiting for years to try that amp out. And in the back, we have 4 marine 12-inch subs. Now, the reason I went with 4 marine subs was because when you take the roof off, I didn't want to lose the quality of sound, and it worked. I've actually had the roof off, and they still make tons of bass. Now, these boxes are not proper boxes for these subs. I actually think they're too small. Those were just a couple of boxes that we made and fiberglassed over the fender wells, because you have the inner fender wells here to deal with, and I do not believe it's enough space for these subs. We actually have not tuned this system yet either. I believe there's way more bass to be pulled out of this thing. Excuse me, got a little fluffy there. But it makes so much bass already that when I'm driving down the road and I crank this thing up, you can feel it in your bones, in your chest. And yes, it makes my ears ring a lot. But I love them. Highly recommend these subs. I've been using them for 2 years, no issues. The one change I would make was I should put an amplifier to run the 6.5-inch speakers, because they're starting to crackle a little bit off the deck. The deck's running 60 watts by 4, I believe it is. But all of the products have been awesome with no issues for the last 2 years. And this is my golf cart. So between here, I can fit both golf bags. I put them in like an X crossways. And I went golfing 27 times in this thing last year. So this is my golf cart with a big massive boom system in it, and I love it. And the other cool thing about all those Clarion speakers was we didn't have to wire in all these LED lights. They come like that. They're built like that. You get a carbon fiber looking cover for all the speakers, and you also get a silver speaker cover with them if you want. Obviously I chose to go with carbon fiber. I still got little spots all over it from the polish. I haven't cleaned up yet. But that is the awesome stereo system in my 78 Jimmy. And I would like to actually make it more. So the jet boat we're building is going to go on the back of this, because I wanted, for Big Block Nation, I wanted big block in my Jimmy and a big block in my jet boat. And the big block blew up before we got to run it. So we're getting another big block for it. And I'm thinking these might be better in the jet boat, so that maybe I could put some Orions in here. Kind of what I'm thinking about, because I'm so hell-bent on trying out some Orion subs and amplifiers and speakers. Never seen them anywhere in Canada. I actually haven't found a dealer in Canada that carries them, but I really, really want to try them. So yes, all of the speakers and the subs come with those awesome little LED lights. That is another reason that I purchased these, because I wanted my Jimmy all full of lighting. Like those. What those are little LED lights I got from Mopac Auto Supply for about $7, and just inserted them in there into where your interior lights are, and the lighting inside my cab is so much better. The Jimmy's never had good lighting with the crappy lights they put in back then, and now I can actually see all the time, whether it's day or night, so that's a wonderful feature. Back to the speakers and the deck. So at 60 watts by 4, they're starting to crackle a little bit, keeping up to the subs. There is one little dilemma I have been having with this deck, is the Bluetooth feature really seems to be struggling to connect with my iPhone. Mr. White runs a Samsung phone. He has had no problems connecting to it, but after that it seems to want to just connect to his phone. We have to constantly fight with this thing to actually make it work with my iPhone. I don't know if that's a phone problem or is that an Alpine deck problem. So they don't get a bad review for that. I love Alpine stuff, and I know that deck's probably going to last me for another 20 years. I have not actually had a single Alpine deck crap out on me. I have been running stereo equipment for a long time. No expert. I just buy it and I use it and abuse it. And I love my stereos. I love my big blocks. So let's get back to turning the lights out, and we can talk about these rings we got. We have a set of Oracle wheel light rings on all 4 wheels. See if I can zoom in and you can see the front ones tucked in there. Now, I ordered these directly from Oracle, and of course they don't list that they're made for a vehicle like this. If you're running them on an old Chevy or something old, if you have drum brakes, they are an absolute pain trying to hook them up to drum brakes. I did have them on my other great big GMC and had nothing but problems trying to get them to actually stay there. It was a little bit of a pain. So these, this happens to be converted to rear disc brake conversion. So it works out wonderfully, just like the new trucks. I would recommend when they send them with these little brackets, you can order longer brackets, and the ones they send with it are the little short ones. So I would just ask for the longer ones. It's right on their website. It'll make your life easier. You can cut them down if they're too long, but adding to them sucks. Now, I've been running the wheel lights for 2 years, and they have been outside in the cold at minus 20 degrees Celsius here in Canada, and not a single one of them has given me grief. I run this thing all the time. They've seen rain, they've seen all sorts of weather, because, of course, we have such sporadic weather now, but they have lasted amazingly. So I will be buying tons more of those. The other cool thing we have was I did do the actual Halo Oracle lights. They're about $125 each US, and they have been also outside in the minus 20 degree temperature. And I have had one of the headlights, 2 of the little tiny LEDs have finally stopped working on me. But we've had cold temperatures, minus 20 Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it can't be good. I don't imagine LED lights like that. Compared to the offshore lights that I did buy for another vehicle, I can't remember the brand, but I did buy some offshore lights that were like this, and they were no good below minus 5, and that was it. They just would not work. So Oracle, you guys rock. Love your products. I also did the clear lights from Brothers. I was really having fun with this truck. Oh yes, hang on a second, I forgot something. Brothers clear lights, problem with them is they actually stick out too far. And no, you can't flip them upside down, they stick out even further. So whoever made that light made a miscalculation in my opinion. I do not like how they stick out that far. They should not do that. So I may have to alter that down the road. And finally, we get to the taillights. Clear taillights from eBay. Now, I have run these on multiple trucks, and the only single issue I have had with them is the screws they usually use are cheap and rust. So, of course, I just use my own screws. But wherever they're buying the screws from are the problem. The rest of the lights are fine, have no issues. I've been running them for years. They're about 60 bucks a pair on eBay. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Everything seems to be going up, but that's what I got them for. And they work awesome. They look good. I like the look of the clear lights on this particular vehicle. Worked well in my opinion. A couple of other details that I forgot. This is the CM3013WL model number, Clarion 12-inch marine sub. The other thing this also does have is it has keyless entry, an alarm with an immobilizer. So there's a lot of wiring under the dash, which makes it a bit of a pain when you want to redo anything. So that's why I avoid it. It's been a very massive job to redo wiring, but I'm thinking this winter, this thing might get a few extra things thrown at it. Kind of on the fence with something right now. I am contemplating doing a transmission swap in this thing because I was told we had 373s in these dips, and I believe they're 410s because when I'm on the highway, I have 37-inch tires and this thing is still revving at 100 kilometers an hour. So I'm thinking that I should try a 4L80 swap in this thing. I have not seen one with propane yet, but I think that would make my life a little better. And if we do that, if I do happen to have 410s, perhaps we should do a little more lift and put 40s on this since I love 40s so much.